All right, Broncos country, what is going on? We got a lot to catch up on and go over throughout the first 2 days of Denver Broncos minicamp this week. We're going to go through who really are the big winners. That includes guys like Jeremy Crawshaw, Q Robinson, Dondrea, Tillman. Of course, JK Dobbins is also to be discussed as he finally suited up now for the Broncos today after signing that 1-year deal. Absolutely love it. So, of course, I want to know what you guys are thinking throughout the first couple days of minicamp. Please be sure, join the chat, subscribe, like as well. And lastly, check out Horsepower Hour episode 2. Links in the description if you didn't see it yesterday. We go every Tuesday, usually at 9 p.m. Mountain. Had to go a little bit earlier yesterday. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and get into all the news. First off, I'm going to start here with a very important tweet from my friend Kodiak Broncos. He said, observations from sneaking into Broncos country minicamp. Q Robinson is the next Lawrence Taylor. The golf course behind Dove Valley also has great hot dogs. And, good for you putting mustard on the hot dog. I am from Illinois, from outside Chicago, and I put ketchup on my hot dog. It's like sacrilegious. So good for you. That's awesome. But Q Robinson, we're really going to hype him up. But most importantly, we need to hype up Chris Thomason for putting this out on Twitter. Spoke with Darren Rizzi today on punter, Jeremy Crawshaw. He's as talented of a prospect as I've ever had. I will never hate on a team for drafting a punter in the 6th round. Guys, a long snapper was drafted, I believe, in the 6th round this year. Insane. I don't know if I would ever go that far, but we got a starter. We got a franchise punter. That's how I'm feeling about it with Jeremy Crawshaw. By all accounts, had a really strong ending to rookie minicamp, and he's going to be booming punts out here in altitude. Look at this mustache. He is bound for success here from Emu Plains, Australia, by way, of the Florida Gators. But this guy's going to be booming punts for us. I have no doubt in my mind that Jeremy Crawshaw will be an upgrade over Riley Dixon, and I can't wait to see how he performs this year wearing Tom Ruin's number 16, or Jake Plummer's, but in this case, it's Tom Ruin. So that was one of the first big takeaways. Love to see that. Now, in terms of day one takeaways from yesterday, we'll go over those briefly. Devon Vele was not present. We don't know why. He also wasn't at practice today. A.T. Perry is still missing. Why is A.T. Perry missing? Shout out to Luca Evans. Be sure to follow him from the Denver Post. JFM is there. Lavelle Bailey had a nice pick on Jarrett Stidham. Sam Ellinger looks good. In addition to A.T. Perry, Blake Watson has not been there, and P.J. Locke. But, guys, I'm not freaking out about this. Also, Courtney Jackson dropped a ball from Bo Nix. He is a UDFA wide receiver that we've brought in. And rookie edge, Johnny Walker out of Mizzou, went to the locker room mid-practice. Hopefully he's okay. But we did bring in some other competition for the wide receiver room. I think direct competition. And Will Sheppard, CU, wide receiver, was at rookie minicamp, now is at the official minicamp, wearing 87. We'll get to that later on. I'll do an individual video breaking him down. But he's going to be pushing Courtney Jackson and a few of these other guys for his spot on the Denver Broncos practice squad. Now, Ryan Edwards on day one. Pat Bryant had a nice touchdown with the first team offense. Lucas Kroll did as well. Were we just a year late on the Lucas Kroll hype? Man, I hope so, but I don't think it's likely. Pat Bryant continues to remain a very smooth route runner. Love to see that. Q Robinson yesterday might have had 5 pressures. That's after having at least 2 last week. Huge fan so far. We'll get to Q Robinson. Andrew Mason had some great things to say about him as well, but it's great to see that they're using him at edge, which I think is his most natural position. I am a little intrigued with him about the idea of transitioning to inside linebacker, but Vance Joseph has not had good success with that. If we could have a 5th edge off the line like Q Robinson, on top of the league leading group last year in sacks with over 60. I think it was like 67 sacks we had last year, something like that. We're going to have the most dominant defense this year. I think we really do have a shot to be number one. And if a guy like Hugh Robinson ends up being an absolute steal in round 4 because he just had limited production, although he's a freak athlete from University of Alabama, he's going to be the key. One of those little things that helps push us from a top 5 defense to a number 1 defense. Jaquan McMillan also had a pick 6 off Bo Nix that went off of Courtney Jackson. I guess that dropped. And he also said, I think the JK Dobbins move will not be bad news for Jaleel McLaughlin. Love his usage, and I think he's carving out an important role. That's what Cecil Lammey and Andrew Mason have echoed as well. So I find that interesting that different companies, media companies, are echoing that same thing. So stock up right now on Jaleel. Very interesting. Now, let's go ahead and get to what Cody Rourke had to say. Please go check out him on Locked On Broncos, Mile High Sports, and of course here on Twitter. But he talked about how Bo Nix looks sharp in the red zone. Today, Q Robinson stacked a really, really great second day of normal mini camp. So that's 2 straight days of balling out, along with Dondrea Tillman, who, had 5-6 sacks for us last year as well. Pat Bryant continues to get more looks. First team offense, that's encouraging for your 3rd round pick, already showing those sorts of signs of encouragement. Ryan Edwards, in addition to Cody Rourke, said Pat Bryant really taking advantage of the extra reps with Bo Nix. Remember, Devon Vele's still out. He caught a beautiful touchdown on a corner route during high red zone, caught another touchdown from Stidham during another red zone drill later. Dondrea Tillman has been damn near unstoppable at edge against the second team. Could be in line for more work this season after a 5-sack performance last year. Coach Payton was incredibly vocal teaching both sides of the ball. First team offense was better today, but the defense is still ahead. Throwing against the secondary is going to be a significant problem for offenses this season. With this secondary and with the best pass rush in football, quite possibly, this defense, can we get 75% of our 2015 defense? It's going to be a special year, man. I really do feel like we should be able to contend for the division title this year. Andrew Mason met with JK Dobbins, spoke with him, talked about how JK was like, we have a very good coaching staff here. He said he heard the fans are awesome. He said Bo Nix is a, quote, amazing quarterback, end quote. That's awesome to see. So there's clear belief in the coaches in the running back room. Seems to be great with his role. And again, guys, he is going to serve us so well in things like pass protection and in short yardage. And also help be a mentor to our young running back room. When Q Robinson and Dondrea Tillman are facing our reserve tackles, it's kind of unfair. That's what Andrew Mason is saying. So that means going up against guys like Matt Pert, Alex Palczewski, Frank Crum. And I thought what we saw from Alex Palczewski and Matt Pert last year was pretty decent against other NFL teams. But I think that we have an embarrassment of riches right now, along with, of course, our starting edges, Benito, Cooper, and don't forget, Jonah Ellis is going into his second year now, too. I really, really love that. Now, shout out to my guy, Cameron Parker. He wanted to hit on JK Dobbins a little bit. Today said JK Dobbins ranked 6th in the NFL in yards after contact per attempt at 2.5 yards. In 2024, RJ Harvey ranked 9th in college football in yards after contact. I will gladly take that. We're going to have a more physical room this year, no doubt about it. Caleb Lohner, Zach Stevens shows right here from DNVR, getting in some work. And again, I think he does make the roster. 6'7", guys, 6'7". And I think ran that corner route pretty clean, man. Look how long his arms are. He's got like KD arms. I think he's got 34.5-inch arms. I'm looking this up right now as we're live. I don't have his arm length. What the heck? Anyways, he's got super long arms, as you can see there. Love to see that. It's Pat Bryant here. they're saying, that is NFL Rookie Watch is saying Pat Bryant's looking like the steal of the draft. Now, we got a lot of steals of the draft, obviously, but he's looking great with his route running. And that's the thing, a 4.61 40-yard dash. Will Sheppard, for instance, ran faster. He went undrafted, which surprised me. But the thing that's going to get Pat Bryant on the field is going to be his contested catch ability, which was fantastic. I believe it was over 70% last year, and his route running ability. He's going to create separation. How, for instance, Keenan Allen has done it throughout his career. Coincidence he's wearing 13 as well? I don't know. But Keenan Allen isn't a guy that ran this sub 4.4, 4.5, 40-yard dash, anything like that. But this guy was a tactician with his routes. I think he's going to be impressive as the season goes on. Love to see that he's maximizing his reps with Devon Vele being out. Now, I did mention this. We signed Will Sheppard. I love this. I hope he's given the opportunity to sign with the Broncos 90-man roster and then go to training camp this year and compete for a practice squad spot, or maybe he blows expectations and ends up on the roster. I think that those odds are very slim right now, but he's a very good athlete, guys. 8.72 RAS score. Look at his vertical. Over 40 inches at 40.5. And broad jump at 10.06. He needs to work on his route running, but I'm not at all concerned about the 40-yard dash with these Sean Payton receivers, man. I'm not. What's most important is that he puts on a little bit of size. Again, he's 6'2.5" right now. Little light at 203, but give him a year in our strength and conditioning program. I think he's going to be great. I think he's got the willingness and, again, the frame to be a very good run blocker for us. He can play outside. He can play the big slot if we need him to. And good contested catch guy. Only had 2 drops this year. Really improved on his drops this past year at CU. Love to see that. And 6 touchdowns, a red zone threat. He's somebody that I see pushing Joaquin Davis, Juwan Newton, Courtney Jackson. Let's talk about A.T. Perry, even though I love him. Could Will Sheppard find his way on the Broncos 53? I think he's got a chance. And most of these guys normally go undrafted, whatever. I don't really give a shot. But with the Broncos, you got a guy or two every year that's gonna surprise. Will Sheppard, it would not surprise me if, especially if A.T. Perry, for some reason isn't healthy or whatnot. And I think we keep 6-7 wide receivers on the roster this year. Will Sheppard could be one of those guys with an outside chance to make it. But nonetheless, I think he has a great opportunity here as long as he continues to look good in making this practice squad. And who knows what happens after some time on the practice squad. You're going to be elevated. A handful of these 15 guys are going to be elevated at a point in the year. Football is a physical sport. But I mean, even next year, having him as a developmental guy, I think is great. And I think it does say something that he is wearing 87. The guys that have worn 87 here, of course, Ed McCaffrey, Eric Decker, but even the guys that have worn 87 in the past, such as David Sills, I mean, these guys have been on the practice squad. These guys have gotten some burn at some point. And I find that interesting. That, I don't read into numbers too much, but he's got a good number. I think that says something. Sean Payton spent a lot of time with Will Sheppard. I think it's great. Now, I'll also do a video later on about us also bringing in Buffs defensive tackle Shane Cokes in for minicamp. He was also here for rookie minicamp. He is somebody that I think should also hopefully have the opportunity to sign to the 90-man roster and compete for a practice squad position, because outside of our first couple guys at defensive tackle, our first couple units rather at the interior line, it's kind of anybody's game, right? So we'll see what happens. But nonetheless, guys, very positive news right now coming out of OTAs. That's really all you want to see right now is positive news coming out. I'm not going to freak out if anybody has it. Right now, it's pass-fail. Minicamp, rookie minicamp, OTAs, it's all pass-fail to me. We don't see anything that's concerning right now. We're getting any reports. Like, remember, passing Lynch, man, he was launching balls way over the guys' heads, right? He wasn't prepared. He didn't know the plays. Any of that. No, man, we don't see any of that. The fact that guys are flashing is great. I would say my only concern right now is If Q Robinson right now as a rookie, man, is owning our tackles, our backup tackles, what's going on with our backup tackle? What's going on with Frank Crum? What's going on with Palczewski? A few of these other guys, Matt Pert. You want to see development, but at the same time, we could have the best pass rush in the NFL. Maybe it's not something to be overly concerned about yet. I'll get to a few of your comments. Really just Eli, man. What's going on, dude? Hope you're doing well. Go Jets. David, over under $3 billion for the cost of the new stadium. It's going to be way over that. I would imagine that it's probably $4 or $5 billion. I'll do a video on that this week as well. It looks like the Broncos are buying up land just outside of downtown. Is it like northeast of downtown, which is great. Sports should be downtown. It is imperative that they remain downtown for the success of downtown businesses, the economy, small businesses, Lone Tree, the suburbs, all that sort of stuff. I think it's terrible for the culture in these big cities. I understand how the Penners want to own the stadium, right? When you pay $5 billion for a franchise. But I think it's very important for them to not isolate the stadium to where other businesses and the bars, the clubs, the hotels, the restaurants, they can't still benefit as well, right? How Sutton looked? Maybe a little lackadaisical? I don't think so at all. No. I saw that he's trying out a new helmet. But Sutton is great, man. I haven't seen anything lackadaisical. Again, the veterans, man, it's good to see them out there, man. We know what they can do. I'm most interested with minicamp stuff, OTAs, new players. How are they acclimating? So we'll see. Same Will Sheppard from the Giants? No, CU. Yeah, he was originally signed to, or had agreed in principle to a UDFA deal with the Bucs right after the draft. Didn't pass his physical due to a shoulder. Not really sure what that was all about. I feel like it was just something to get him out of that deal because they prioritize somebody else as a UDFA. It happens all the time at the bottom end of rosters. And I really wanted to see him here in Denver because he's a good fit for what Sean Payton does. So I love it. Shy, what's going on, man? What do you think? Okay, I'm not really sure. Couldn't we use a blocking tight end? Chris, you're absolutely right. We got Adam Troutman, who's decent at that, but it would be nice to have a guy who can block and be a little bit more of a vertical threat. Two guys that I would love the Broncos to kick the tires on, to bring in, would be another former Charger, Gerald Everett, or Jordan Akins from, I guess, most recently the Cleveland Browns, also played with the Houston Texans, I believe. Both of those guys, I think, are a little bit more well-rounded. I think Caleb Lohner makes the roster as kind of, one of our backup tight ends that kind of profiles more like Evan Ingram, like a big slot. We'll see what happens with the guy that we signed from Ole Miss, Pinkerton. I forget his name, but he kind of profiles more like that H-back type of tight end, like not a Lucas Kroll, but a Nate Atkins. So we'll see what happens there. Oh, what do you think about JK Dobbins coming to Denver? Absolutely love it. He's going to help us Shy so much in pass protection, which we just needed a proven pass protector. He hasn't fumbled since his rookie year. Shout out to whoever said that. Forget who it was. And had great yards after contact, 2.5 yards last year on average. And just a veteran, man. If you're in a pickle, your younger guys aren't performing, you got a guy that you can fall back on. And I would assume we're not going to be using him as a workhorse like Jim Harbaugh kind of did at certain points last year. He won't, I don't think he will falter down the stretch like he did with the Chargers. So I see him as a nice key to this committee. And I think RJ Harvey is still going to be that guy. I think he is going to be that guy. Can't wait to spend $18 for a beer. Oh man, yeah. You're not getting Rockies like beer prices are you at the Broncos Stadium? Pretty scummy of them, but business is business. I don't necessarily think so. At the end of the day, if I paid $5 billion for a sports team, I would want the stadium. I wonder if there's a deal that they could work out with the city of Denver just to purchase a Mile High. That would be awesome. But as long as the next Mile High is right there downtown, I'm not going to be too upset. Could it would be nice to kind of get a little bit better of a location. Sometimes, right there off of I-25, it it can be a little bit of a mess traffic wise. And then when you walk through the concourse, I mean, they are narrow concourses. If you've ever been to Mile High, it can, man, it is just jam packed. That could be tough to increase through like a renovation or whatnot. So, yeah, like I would love to see the Broncos in a new stadium, but I think like I don't want to see it at the expense of them leaving downtown. I think that the only thing that I would feel like would be scummy, this is just my opinion, is if you move it out of downtown, so then you put up all these hotels and businesses, restaurants that are all owned by the Penner family, Walton Penner family, and so none of this money is really going back into downtown. And I just think it's very important for cities to have their sports downtown. That's what they're trying to do right now with the Spurs, is get them playing downtown. They play on the west side. They're trying to revitalize more so downtown. Sports needs and should be downtown. We don't need to do the Jerry Jones thing out in Arlington. No. Why not kick the tires on Jermaine Pratt? Oh, dude. Saw he went to the Raiders. I was going to do a video on this, Eli. Yeah, why not? I thought he was decent in coverage. He had like over 130 tackles. I would have been interested in it had he still remained unsigned. It would have been nice. It is what it is, man. Inside linebacker, I think, is still like our biggest question mark right now. Trey Greenlaw still coming back from that Achilles, even though he was on the field last year. Alex Singleton coming back from that ACL. Lavelle Bailey, Drew Sanders are not proven at all. It would be nice. How about CJ Mosley? I know he's a little bit older, but he was still good. Yeah, Akins is a good tight end too, I feel like, right? Good tight end too. I would love that. Yeah, they do need to knock down the highway by I-25 and 6. It's just an absolute mess kind of once you get towards that area of downtown. So who starts the season as RB1, JK Dobbins or Harvey? I think it will be RJ Harvey. Like if you're talking about down, the first down in the first game, it's going to be RJ Harvey. But I think JK Dobbins right now, he like automatically fills that third down back roll for us that Javonte Williams did in 2 minutes. I think that's going to be a role that RJ Harvey, Jaleel, Audric, these other guys, they're going to have to really fight for and prove that they're capable of doing that. I know right now, JK is fully capable of being our third down back and our short yardage back. These other young backs are going to have to prove that they can take over that role. So I don't really want to see JK used much outside of that, because I feel like, hey, you're talking about 2 minute in situations, third down, some short yardage. Yeah, I think it hopefully is going to be something like a 60-40 in terms of JK and Harvey, with Harvey taking like 60%. He's the younger back, less injuries. You don't want him being the leading snap getter on your team. I'm cool with him being the number 2 back, though. Oh, sorry about the scummy comment that was directed towards the Bucks. My bad, man. I just get talking on these trains. I absolutely love the idea of a new stadium. Cool. Yeah. Scummy with the Bucks if that was the case. So we'll see what all happens with Will Sheppard. But I think Cecil Lammey and Andrew Mason talked about this as well the other day on Orange and Blue Today, about how, there will be some teams, that will bring a guy in for a visit, like what JK Dobbins came in for last week. And they'll be like, hey, if you don't sign with us, we're going to come out and say you failed the physical type of stuff. All that stuff is scummy. I would like to think the Broncos aren't known for doing those sorts of things. What are your concerns with this team as we head into summer break for the players? What do you think? What Sean Payton be working on behind the scenes till this team is back for minicamp? A couple things. Number one, I would like to bring in some more inside linebacker help. CJ Mosley. I think right now this team is in. Like right now they're a dark horse contender for the Super Bowl, right? We're not going to be one of the main contenders, okay? Maybe some people might even see us as dark horse contenders for the AFC West rather than just straight up contenders. But I feel so excited about this team. We won 10 games last year, guys, with a rookie quarterback, no run game, the most 3-and-outs in football. And we've had our best offseason since 2014. And that was a legendary one with TJ Ward, right? Aqib Talib, Emmanuel Sanders, the safety from Baltimore, Darian Stewart. We got all those guys. That's how I kind of see this offseason, man, with the guys that we brought in. This could help us really take us to the next level. And I don't want to we might have like weaker positions on the team, but I don't want big time question marks if a guy goes down for us to be absolutely screwed. Right now, the only position groups that I feel like we're totally screwed if a guy goes down is at inside linebacker and tight end. If Evan Ingram goes down or if Adam Troutman goes down right now, which I would still like an upgrade over Adam Troutman, I have big concerns, man. I really do. Caleb Lohner, I'm bullish on long term, but I'm not going to be expecting him to do much out of maybe red zone packages this year, as a guy who just started playing football last year. So, yeah, sign CJ Mosley. That would be amazing. So we'll have to see. By the way, Horsepower Hour Fire. Can't wait for next week's episode. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Eli, it really does mean a lot. I love doing this. I love coming on here, giving my takes, chopping it up with you guys. It's always the highlight of my day. Apologies, we didn't have it at the correct time yesterday. Again, some of us had a scheduling conflict, but we should be back next week at 9 p.m. Mountain. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Love doing that. Love collaborating with everybody in Broncos country. Guys, let's sign a tight end. I still feel that way. Sign Gerald Everett. Jordan Akins. I'm not sold on Adam Troutman, man. I'm not sold on Lucas Kroll. Let's bring in some more competition. I feel great with where we're at right now at the secondary. I think somebody brought up yesterday on our stream, Riley Moss getting mossed by Cortland Sutton or something in rookie minicamp. I can't verify that. I didn't see that happen on Twitter or anything. But guys, we're not trading anybody in this secondary outside of Damari Mathis. No. And shout out to Damari Mathis coming up to an agreement with JK Dobbins so that JK Dobbins could wear 27. I love that. And Noshawn Moreno, right? One of my most favorite underrated Broncos ever, right? Wore 27. I think that's Darren Williams, rest in peace, wore 27. Steve Atwater, of course, the great Steve Atwater, Hall of Famer, wore 27. 27 is a good number. And I like to see our running backs wear 27. Yeah, Noshawn was great. Injuries just kind of caught up with him. But yeah, man, tight end. Let's bring in another tight end. I think schematically, I'm not really feeling much concern right now with where we're at. I think my hope, again, is that just Sean Payton going into year 2 with a lot of these players now, with guys like Vele, with I guess it's year 3 now with Mims, year 2 with Troy, year 2 with Bo. The offense, sometimes I felt like the play calling and the packaging last year was like very clunky at different points, right? I just want to see more. I want to see things feel a little bit more smooth in terms of the methodology, the strategy, in how we deploy some of these packages, formations, player usage, all that. We know now how Sean Payton can utilize Marvin Mims to make him productive. I want to see these guys utilized more efficiently, quickly, that are coming back for their second or third year with Sean Payton. So Thank you guys for tuning in. It's been a half hour. I'm going to get out of here. We got 50 guys in here, which is great. Please go subscribe to my friends on the description. And I should have another guest on here very soon, maybe next week. Glenn Hauser of MHRT. I need to reach out to him, confirm when we can get together, but can't wait to be talking more Broncos football with you guys. Have a wonderful evening. Go Broncos.